All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Attack on Titan, Season 3, Episode 6. Okay.
This is happening.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
You remember what happened in Season 2, Episode 6, though? This is probably going to be one of those moments where we get our big WTF reveal of sorts. Wow. Yeah.
Possibly.
Specifically with Eren, him being in the Titan Diamond Cave
place,
kind of thing,
chained up and all that
underneath
stuff.
the rice estate. He's probably going to be fed to someone. It's just a question of whether or not it's Historia or someone else. The big thing I think that's coming is just like, what kind of confrontation is it going to be? Is it going to be more of a subterfuge thing? Is it going to be just getting Eren to be able to turn into a Titan and just go crazy?
Sure.
There's a lot of other like little hint things that are being dropped here and there, making us kind of obvious as to where certain things are going, but it's more along the lines of like backstory related stuff, like specifically with Eren and how he became a Titan in the first place, which they might have that be the big WTF reveal, and it'll be like, we
kind of figured that out by now.
Yeah, but
who knows?
But there could be some other things. I'm looking forward to some big kind of origins connected to the Titans and some things there, and then potentially some more action if the Levi squad gets to this area pretty quickly. So sounds exciting, guys. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay. Doesn't look like... Oh, she knows the truth now. Oh, wow.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Have you?
どうした？君はここに来るのは初めてだぞ。だが見覚えがあっても不思議ではない。どういう意味だ？こうすれば彼は思い出すかもしれない。
What the heck? Oh! What the heck? Whoa! Whoa! Yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Holy crap! Yeah! Here it is! Here it is! Here it is! Oh! No way! Oh! Yep! Wait, so he made himself forget?
Wow, you can catch his act.
どうだ？
すごいよヒストリア。もうこんなに読めるようになるなんて。だってお姉ちゃんが教えてくれるから。ねえ。女の子らしくって何？
そうだね。女の子らしくっていうのはこの子みたいな女の子のことね。
What the heck?
そう。ヒストリアもクリスタが好きでしょ？この世界は辛くて厳しいことばかりだから。みんなから愛される人になって。
じゃあ私お姉ちゃんみたいになりたい。え？私大きくなったらお姉ちゃんみたいになれるかな？
ごめんねヒストリア。もう時間になっちゃった。今日も私のことは忘れてね。また会う日まで。
What the heck?
あれ？あの女の人誰？
どうした？ヒストリア。
なんで今まで忘れてたんだろう。
Wow.
私は一人じゃなかった。私にはあのお姉さんがいた。
フリーダと会っていたのか。お前の腹違いの姉だ。
Okay.
フリーダお姉さんは今どこにいるの？会ってお礼が言いたいの。
のようにはいない。
So.
しかし妻もフリーダを含む子供たちも全員5年前ここで彼の父親グリシャ・イエーガーに殺されたのだ。
Wow.
Yeah.
グリシャは巨人の力を持つ者だった。彼が何者なのかはわからないが、目的はレイスケが持つある力を奪う。フリーダの中に宿る巨人の力だった。
Holy crap!
いわば無敵の力を持つ巨人だった。だがそれを使いこなすにはまだ経験が足りなかったようだ。フリーダは進化を発揮することなくグリシャに食われ、力は奪われてしまった。14歳のディルクと12歳のエレベルを叩き潰し、10歳のフロリアンを抱えた妻ごと踏みつけ、最後は長男のウルクリンを握りつぶした。くしくもその場から生き残ったのは私だけだった。
おいおいおいおい。
Oh, Kenny.
Yep.
何のんびりくっちゃべってんだあんたら。外はどえらいことになってるってのに。調査兵団がクーデターを企てて、全兵団が寝返った。さっさとやること済ましてくれ。
Lickety split.
ああ、わかった。ここから離れることが必要だと言ったはずだ。
なんだ王様、怒っちまったか。
Really?
君を信用しているぞ。行け。
Huh. Interesting.
そして週に一度は民衆の前でその姿を披露していただきます。
Okay. I was hoping this would not
こ
get
れ以上
animated.
の
This
芸
is,
術作品は存在し得ないでしょう。
yeah, Zach
何
Lee's a
十
bit
年もかけて
messed
考
up.
案した甲斐があった。
What the heck?
知られた民の前でそのお姿を晒してようやくこの作品は完成を迎えるのです。
大変がしかせやわ。
また同じ脅し文句を垂れたな。
レイスケは人類の記憶を都合よく改ざんできるというわけじゃ。しかも奴らを含む一部の血族はそれに影響されないといった口ぶりだったぞ。どのみちザックレーの手にかかり我らの拷問を受け続けた方がマシだったと思っておるだろ
う。What the heck?
わからんやつじゃ。
知っていたのですか。
口が滑ったな。己よりも生き残る人類の数を尊重しておる。お主の提案に乗ったのはそれが人類にとって最善だと思うたからじゃ。その結果王政につくべきと風が吹けばザックレーと争うことも覚悟しとった。いつか人は争いをやめるとか誰かが歌っておったが、それはいつじゃ。
人類が一人以下まで減れば人同士の争いは不可能になります。
Whoa.
そんなへりくつが聞きたかったわけではない。
Yeah.
総員整列。これよりエレンおよびヒストリア奪還作戦を開始する。
脅威の度合いで言えば敵に俺がいると思う。いや、あの武器がある分俺よりも厄介だ。
じゃあ無理ですよ。私たちじゃ。しかし一緒に暮らしていてそれしか切り裂きケニーの情報がないってどういうことだよ、リヴァイ。
Yeah.
お前の親戚だったりしてな。
生前の両親の話では父のせいアッカーマン家は都市部で迫害を受けていたと聞きました。
It's probably one way of, talking about it.
人種の違いからか町に居場所を失い夫婦となったのです。
ある時突然力に目覚めたような感覚を経験したことがある。
What the heck? That's an odd question. It's oddly specific.
あります。
What is with all these people having like crazy powers and stuff?
何をどうすればいいかわかるんだ。
What the heck?
俺にもあった。
Oh, and he has questions too. Whoa, that's cool. Little flashback transition.
もう死ぬんだろ。一体どうなってる？かつてのアッカーマン家は王側近の武家だったそうじゃねえか。
アッカーマン家は王政に恨まれてはおらん。ただ恐れられておる。王がアッカーマン家を操ることができなかったからだ。
Oh, maybe they're immune to the memories?
そして王は巨人の力を代々受け継ぎ保持しておる。
はあ？巨人の力を何だって？
その力は強大で 人類すべての記憶を改ざんし過去を忘れさせることができ、その中で王政に背を向けた家が2つあった。それが東洋の一族とアッカーマン家だ。
メイドの土産にはならん話かもしれんが、やっと妹を見つけたよ。クシェルは地下街の商館で働いてた。こう身ごもってな。それを産むっつって聞かねえんだよ。
Oh, that's Levi.
こん
Yeah.
なクソみたいな世界に生まれたところで。
あった。隠し扉だ。エレンも敵もこの奥だろう。
わざわざ寄り道して手土産用意した甲斐があればな。
敵は少なくとも7人以上。その中には当然リヴァイが含まれる。厳しい状況だよ。
I kind of feel bad
こ
for
の
them,
狭い世
you
界じ
know?
ゃ。
Oh yeah,
They're all
同
gonna
行した
die
私た
here.
ちを待ってるのは死んだ方がマシな日々だろう。でもそれってこの壁の中で生きてる限り
Wow.
同じことでしょ。
Yep.
Yeah.
私たちが
Dang.
憲兵を選んだのも中央憲兵を死亡しケニーの元に着いたのも、ならば最後まで信じてみよう。この世界を盤上ごとひっくり返すっ
And
ていう
his dream.
ケニーの夢よ。
Yeah.
それでお前ら手を汚す覚悟の方はどうだ。
Wow. We're all
Yeah,
gonna kill
they
some
are
people.
outnumbered, literally outgunned.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
They're gonna end the episode soon, aren't they? Right
Oh,
about
boy.
now. Okay.
All right.
So this episode was just chock full of exposition. The main thing that they confirmed was yes, we were right.
Good job.
Yeah. I mean, it was getting pretty obvious.
They were getting a lot less subtle, a lot more on the nose. With
Yeah.
things.
Do you think though that this is something that is kind of a problem right now? Is that Attack on Titan is having this season basically be like, we're gonna blow the lid on all the secrets, when literally there was very little buildup to a lot of these secrets. So it seems like that a lot of them are being kind of
sort of coming out of nowhere, kind of.
well, not only that, but it's like the secrets themselves are being revealed as being secrets. So we're like, we weren't asking these questions.
Sure.
So it doesn't feel really as gained to have them be revealed. It feels like more so the story is trying to push things along to a point where we are more aware so that the conflict can be different. And it's like, I get why you would do that, but I think the biggest thing is that we're moving to the actual like humans and titans versus humans and titans world,
right?
Where it's not some aggressor from the outside coming in with, you know, titans and stuff, or titan shifters or what have you. It's more so that the whole fundamental basis of the conflict of what you know is wrong. Like it's all it's all fundamentally wrong. So we need to get you up to speed to where you know what's right. And then we'll restart the conflict, essentially.
I mean, you always knew that there was something up with, like, the whole idea of the king and all that stuff. And, you know, and
the Titans themselves. The Titans themselves are a question.
Right.
They're the original question.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is one of those ones where, because it was a question that they never went really deep into, the question was there, but the details of the question was there. It was one general question, not sub questions,
right?
So they're exploring it, and because they're ripping through it at such a rapid pace, it can feel kind of like, okay, all right, yeah,
cool, like memory bloodline powers and stuff. It's like, okay, I always kind of wondered like
what the whole stuff was with Eren having the weird dreams and
things. And why am I just remembering this now? That was such a joke.
I mean, it's kind of a meta joke too,
but now it's basically a meta plot thing,
or at least it certainly can be.
No, I think it is. Like, it has to be. Like, why not? I don't think they're going to get that literal with it, but why not have it be that every single time in this show up until this point, every time a character goes, why am I just remembering this now? Think about who they are. And are they a person who is either, you know, an Ackerman? Or are they someone who's like a Jaeger?
Well, with the case,
think about how many of them are actually just, how many of those times that happens, it was just Mikasa and Eren.
Well, okay. They did say though that it's something that is done through contact with the skin, right?
Yeah.
And it's the royal bloodline specifically that's able to do that. As far as we know, they didn't have any contact with the royal bloodline in the, early
It doesn't matter.
seasons.
It doesn't matter. The point is that you could just say there was a slip in the power, essentially. The power was, something that, didn't have control over them at a certain point.
Possibly. If they said that it wasn't a perfect thing or whatever, and that
Well, there have been a couple moments, I just want to bring up a couple moments, where people have touched and that lightning-charged kind of stuff kind of arced around them. The first time that I kind of think about it is the Mikasa scene where she, around her brain and stuff. And I thought, anime exaggerations of, specific things to showcase that she's having this serious moment. But then she, she broke the floorboards.
And the handle of the knife,
Well, the handle of the knife, no, she didn't break anything
No, she did. Yeah, the wood on the handle, shattered.
Okay. Yeah. All I remember is that she actually breaks the floorboards.
Yes, they showed it again
for
this
the
time.
handle bit. They showed a clang as she gripped it really hard, but if it broke, then
no. Okay, I'm right.
You're right. Okay, cool. Whatever. The other part that kind of stands out to me as being a big kind of lightning charge contact bit is the second season's finale when Eren does his coordinate control. The Titans thing. Yeah. And one thing that I was thinking that could be something really cool was basically that this was kind of a callback to a moment of heightened emotion, and because all these things aligned, he basically realized his true Titan power.
Sure.
But one thing we can now look back on that, I think, with a little bit of context, is that Eren had the most powerful Titan in him. So one of potentially his abilities might be controlling the Titans. That might be one of a few. There might be more there than just that. But also the thing that kind of makes it to be a little bit interesting was that it was when he punches the smiling Titan. And when that happened, there's the little arc of electricity and stuff. But now we can potentially look back on that and go, wait a minute, was there anything special that happened there? Because there hasn't been many moments where the lightning kind of electricity thing actually happened in the show. Most of it happens during a Titan transformation.
Sure, like when Eren grabbed the spoon or something like that.
Yep. And those are more, I'd say, that's just the power of the Titans in action, basically. That's just Titan usage, basically, of Titan whatever. And there's no connection between different individuals. It's just one person. It's unless maybe there's some connection up in the sky, and the lightning always goes up into the sky because reasons or whatever. But I do want to essentially keep that in the back of my mind now, is that anytime there was that kind of that lightning strike thing, and if there was any kind of physical connection like Eren's little punch was, there's something potentially there. So there's that. Another thing is just the fact that now we could have had all kinds of things actually happen and go wrong with the whole human city and stuff.
Sure.
To where everything is a lie. Literally nothing.
I mean, once you can control people's memories, you can't trust anything at that point.
Yeah, and my worry is that the story is about to do a huge retcon of sorts.
Gotcha.
And that it's going to be an Evangelion kind of thing, but it's going to keep having story afterwards. Instead of just ending, it's going to be nope, and now we keep going. Specifically with the whole memory thing, I'm okay, now they have to answer that question. Who cares about the basement anymore? Well, actually, no. The basement becomes even more important because then we figure out like why Grisha did what he did. Like, why is it that the Rice family has maybe had control of humanity up until this point?
Yeah.
But in a lot of ways, they were maybe protecting humanity from themselves, essentially. Did Grisha just not...
He just had enough of it, like, or something?
Well, like, did he not have the effect work on him? Like, is he someone that, like, wouldn't have had it work on him? I think that's not the case because Eren seems to be, you know, underneath the influence of it as well. So, like, it almost feels like this is a classic control versus freedom story where it's not really about the Titans. It's about different groups of people that, like, some see control as being the thing that will save humanity.
And then the Titans are just sort of the representation of the scariness that can happen.
Yeah, exactly. They're the monsters that we turn to protect ourselves when we don't think we have the capacity within ourselves.
The monsters that we point to justify heinous things.
Sure, yeah. You know. And this is going to get way more philosophical than Attack on Titan ever seemed to want to go.
I mean, they kept it pretty philosophical.
Well, no, I know, but I meant they was way more subtle. Like, I think one of the cool things about Attack on Titan's first season, specifically, was the first episode is extremely good at presenting these philosophical themes and stuff, but they don't actually provide answers. They just kind of show...
Right, they just ask more questions.
Right, and they say, like, this is not the way humanity should be living.
Right.
And I think it is the rejection of control. It is the rejection of having the walls, essentially, we put up to keep ourselves inert, to keep ourselves
the boat
trapped.
The boat is safe if it stays at the harbor, but that's not where it was. Not what it was built for.
Right, and Eren represents as a character someone who's like who gets angry, who gets upset at that
rages
notion.
Against the dying of the light.
Yes, and it's a great kind of human trait. I love it. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Now we're breaking into new ground where it seems like that actual conflict is a plot point of
rather than just a thematic undertone.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So I'm nervous because there's a lot of ways I think you can just horribly botch a story like this.
Gotcha.
And a lot of ways that you can just you can get at some really deep stuff. And there's so much happening right now that we just need to figure out like if they can kind of re-hone things back towards a specific point. I think with a good solid conflict here and killing of a lot of characters, like if we like get rid of the Rice like people, like just kill them all here. Like specifically Rod, I feel like he's one that you want to have talking a little bit more, but not so much more that the story begins to revolve around him and his family.
Sure, because you don't want it to be something where like you keep the main thing, right? We've got our main characters. We don't need to change who the main character is.
Well, we're fine with giving specific focus to kind of certain characters and stuff.
But the idea that that's a temporary thing,
Well, see, I yes, you're right. But specifically with Eren's thing about him being about freedom and having that be a thing, they kind of need to win out in this part here so that we can essentially move towards freedom from a position of strength for our main protagonist cast.
All right.
Other than that, like, I'm really excited to see what Kenny's thing is. I feel like Kenny is a great third party in this whole thing.
I still don't wild card Joker type.
Yeah, I don't see him as being the kind of person that like Rod can just control as well.
Sure.
Like they're probably giving him the backstory bit here, not just to explain the whole Power of the Titans and the memory thing and the Ackermans and all that
stuff.
It's more so to set up the fact that he
is a person
really doesn't like the idea of being manipulated like that. Like he really doesn't. And I think that's probably like where him and Levi kind of meet. Like that was kind of maybe the thing that they resonated with together. and how they were able to, work together pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Historia's little backstory, like that was
that bit with Frida.
That was really cool.
And
like,
it wasn't that cool how it suddenly like, okay, now it's time for you to forget again. And it's like, wait, what? And then just and she's just what? Oh, who's that person over there? Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, actually like terrifying because here's something that like you haven't really like kind of brought up here is that there are human beings that know. What is the burden, the mental burden on those human beings? Because it's easy to vilify them and just go like, they're all evil. They've been manipulating
keeping the secrets and all that.
But they believe they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
They believe they're doing the right thing, so they keep doing this. But the thing is that, like, how much of a burden is that on an individual?
That is
or a family,
question.
A group of individuals.
Yeah.
I don't think that all of them are doing that well. And I think that on some level...
This will go Ava?
Well, no, I know it's already going Ava right now. But, like, Grisha's little thing of where he was like, Grisha fought... That was amazing. Like, I loved that part. That was so good. But do you notice how Rod, like, specifically, like, didn't... Like he made Grisha basically seem like he came in with no reason. He was suddenly there.
Right, killing babies.
And just killing babies, yes. Why was he even there? He didn't mention that.
That is an excellent...
He's just like, he was a guy that had the power of the Titans. It's like... Is that all?
Right, I think his explanation...
How did he know where that place was?
I think the explanation that he gave is he's like, he wanted Frida's Titan power for himself.
Yes, but how
did
he know
had
Frida...
a really good Titan power.
But how did he know Frida even had a Titan power?
Yeah,
how did he know about that place?
Yeah.
How did he...
Sure, it would be nice if Historia asked about these kinds of things, wouldn't it?
Well, it's the kind of things of where I think Rod specifically doesn't say anything about that because it fits his narrative better. And I think the better way to look at this is that both of them have committed sin, because this episode was a sin named Sin. But I think the point of it is that it's easy to kind of point out and call something a sin when you control the memories of every human being that exists in this world, basically. So
yes, that is true.
So there's a lot of implications there as to what Rod's real like thing. What is he protecting humanity from? Is it itself or an external force? Now, I think it's almost guaranteed that there is some kind of external force out there, just given the whole Ymir backstory and stuff, and the fact that they're going back somewhere. Ymir, Reiner, and Bertolt. They're going somewhere. Now, here's something that's interesting, as we haven't really, thought about and stuff, is that we know that the Rice family has control memories of people via touch, right?
Yeah.
But they can't control of humanity by touching. That's not going to be enough.
Right. They wouldn't be able to. They wouldn't be able to bring all of humanity single file through for the king to lay his hands on them or whatever.
Yep. So they have to have something else, and I think it was essentially Eren's Titan. I think that Eren's Titan is essentially that, and they brought up this whole thing of the scream of a Titan and something like that has the ability to kind of pseudo control like other ones, kind of like Annie's.
Yeah, how she was able to bring all the Titans to her and things like that.
and Eren's might be that he can just control their Titans.
Well,
and
here's one thing that is fun to think about.
Yeah.
Now, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I remember this very vividly. The episode where Eren uses the coordinate for the first time, that episode was called Scream.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
So,
oh boy. Okay. So, Eren has the ability to control Titans.
Does shouting really loud solve my problems?
Apparently, it does.
Maybe it does.
The bit with Eren having the ability to control Titans and stuff. Now, this is something that I think they're going to more and more just make there be a connection towards, is that Titans and humans are just the same thing. And it's not even that like humans and Titans are like alternate forms. It's just like, no, they're the same thing. Meaning that Eren, if he used it right, could control people. Like he could just literally control them. Like there's just no like no holds barred, just perfect perfect, control. Brain, mind, everything. Memories is just like a little piece of it there. And what this leads me to believe is that as we go and uncover more and more things, we'll realize that the Rice family, in some ways, is like subservient to the Titans, basically. Like, because if you think about this from if we go in genealogical,
like a food chain,
or a derivative food chain kind of thing, is not a food chain, but like something like that, where they have the power to control memories and stuff, right? It's like, okay, we just have to accept that. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But doesn't just actual absolute control seem bigger and better than memories? This is going into crackpot theory territory, but what if my whole thing of like, yes, there's this weird cannibalistic cult out there, and they are involved in like gorging on Titan flesh and, all kinds of weird hoodoo, whatever.
You'd have to eat it very quickly because the Titans burn away. But
yeah. The point is that what if the Titan origins don't come from people? The Titan origins are like older than that. The Titan origins, this goes really Ava, but basically the Titans origins are
they started with Cthulhu. And...
Well, we started with Titans. Like Titans, Titans didn't come from humans.
Okay.
Like humans came from Titans. And basically this whole power thing that the royal bloodline have, where'd the royal bloodline come from? What if they came from a Titan, essentially, and Eren's Titan is basically just the last one of that whole thing or whatever.
So like that's the old elves kind of a thing. Like
Right. And it was their Titan. Like they made a whole point of being like, that was Frida's like the greatest Titan. Like that was like the, it had nearly like unimaginable power and all this stuff. Like, who's to say that Titan is actually just a god? Like it's just omnipotence in pure human evolution or whatever. And
so what we need to look out for is if Eren's Titan form ever sprouts energy wings.
I love how like this is a good way that you can keep the banter going in the discussion because you can't give me direct answers and stuff.
Well, no. So okay. One thing I just thought was funny when I saw this episode.
Yeah.
So now, back in my Tumblr days, there are a lot of ships in Attack on Titan. Let me just tell you, like it's madness.
It's a maze of
it is an actual maze. It's not any kind of polygon anymore. It's just spider web.
Well, there's too many characters.
Yeah, too many characters. But one of the ships that and the shippers were getting happy when they're like, all right, this season's coming around because these characters will get more time together. Eren and Historia.
Right.
And I just couldn't help but think of when Historia laid her hand on Eren's back and then there was the lightning and she remembered things. As every time we touch, I get this thing. But yeah, anyways.
That's funny.
But
any kind of big things that you feel like, well, you don't have to say whether they're big things or not, but things that I haven't discussed yet that we should bring up.
Well, okay. So yes. From how last episode went, I was thinking, they might have cut this from the story, but nope, they put it in here. And that is
the torture bit?
The torture bit with Zackley and
yeah, that was just weird. I didn't really get what it was, and then I was like, he's upside down. There's a tube in his anus. It's like...
and then he puts it in his mouth, and basically they gave it a lot more attention in the manga of like Zackley basically describing how his life was going to be a living hell because that's how he was just going to exist for forever basically, unless they were parading him out for I
get how you can have horrors of war and people die and their limbs are
in the way Zackley was talking about, like, I've spent years like looking forward to this day and planning all this out, and it's like, oh my, wow,
yeah, why? I get that maybe he is really angry. I think what it is, Jacob, I think this is, it's supposed to tie in with the themes. I think that's it. It's just that this is how people will react dramatically when they're being controlled. Yep. Or maybe they subvert or get out from underneath the control of others.
Or even perceived control. Whenever there's something where there is a slight actual or perceived, then you can do all sorts of horrible things to the perpetrator of said, real or virtual slight.
Whoa, okay. This is actually getting really dark. what if this story, Attack on Titan, just as a story overall, is about the horrors that can be committed on the oppressors and the oppressees. Basically, like, it's a thing of where human beings will seek freedom and control. You can't escape that. They will seek either one. It's either self-control, the ability to kind of self-govern and just improve oneself. That is a form of control. That is basically you just having... It's kind of the... Yeah, but it's kind of the Ackerman thing of just having, like, I had perfect control over my body. And, like, everything makes
exactly what I had to do.
Yeah. And that's kind of the idea of having, like, a... Not as much of a deterministic viewpoint, but just kind of having, like a destiny, almost a fate, and you just kind of, like... Like, you just kind of surrender yourself to it, I guess. And then you gain perfect control over yourself to where you can then, I guess, the contradiction is then you choose what to do afterwards. But in this, it's like she's saying, I knew what I had to do. So it's almost like she was getting a message saying, do this. And it was like, I have to do that now. So,
and then in the case of the people with the king and all that royal family, it's like, okay, they hate this whole control thing, but then as soon as they get the chance, what's the first thing they want to do? They want to control the people that were controlling them,
right?
And the whole vilification thing, like we talk about Eren being a rage monster, but he very quickly was like, oh, I'm going to kill you guys in the most painful way possible once he found out that Bert and Reiner were the Armored and Colossal Titan,
Well, he had a face to put to his desire to kill all the Titans.
Right,
But that's the thing that's also kind of interesting, is that we have this whole internal conflict going on right now. And they're bringing up this whole thing of Erwin being like, we will always be fighting. Well, no, we will always be fighting until there are one or less humans left. And it was just like, wow, thanks for the bleak hyperbole. Like, that's exactly what I needed right now. But this is an interesting point to bring up, is that humans right now are in a state of civil war when it comes to everything we know of in Attack on Titan. But there's the thing of that Reiner, Bertolt, and Ymir, they're not in this whole mess. They went somewhere else.
They did.
So like, what is that? Like, is there going to be basically like this whole thing of like, all right, things get resolved here. We're going to learn more about the mysteries of this world, essentially. And that's going to be the thing. That'll be this world, and it won't just be this city. And then we'll be like, oh, there's other cities. Like,
this is just Blood Gulch Outpost number 1.
Right.
There's Outpost number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Like, I feel like Attack on Titan has desire to be an ambitious show. And the mangaka basically...
Desire to be ambitious.
Yes, this is the thing. It has ambitions to be ambitious in terms of its presentation.
All right.
And the problem with that is that it feels like they're just making things bigger for the sake of making things bigger.
Okay.
Like,
but don't you love those big overarching stories?
But the thing is overarching is not the word you'd use here. This is just exploding out.
That's true.
So what they need to do is reel it back in, not immediately, but soon, and make this personal again. Because the whole thing of Eren realizing that this is what his dad did, there has been no characterization for Eren and how he reacts to this.
Right. Well, I mean, he is chained up and gagged and
I get
everything.
it, but we haven't gotten a single bit of inner dialogue, any bit of him just realizing, like, that happened. Like, nothing. So
gotcha.
I want characterization for the people involved at the center of these conflicts. Yeah, Historia, characterization. That backstory bit was awesome.
It was great.
Loved that. Love it. It makes the whole thing very personal for her. But like,
we need some Eren response.
We need some Eren response. We need some also breather moments post conflict, which will probably be a while. This conflict is probably going to go for a bit. And I do like that Attack on Titan has the conflict meld with the revealing of the truth, so that the conflict is not necessarily just
there for the sake of being conflict.
Well, no, it's not just action conflict.
Right.
It's the type of thing of like, we have things that we don't know.
Yep.
We have a state that we are currently in right now that is at war with the state that we we're in yesterday, or essentially, or that we will be in tomorrow.
Or the literal state.
Yes, or yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I have so much that I think is just running through my head right now.
Excited for the next episode?
I'm kind of terrified about the next episodes of Attack on Titan now.
Yeah.
I feel like Attack on Titan is about to make or break the show.
Gotcha.
In a way that legitimately makes me nervous, because they have given away so much just by kind of the way they're presenting it.
And Attack on Titan always was one of those shows to play it close to the chest, so the fact that they're playing so many cards now, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
how many cards are in your hand?
What are you doing? Yeah. I think I get why they're doing it, though. The thing is, I don't know when it's going to stop or slow down. So the biggest thing I think we're going to get revealed pretty soon is that Grisha's motivations are something tied to his bloodline. Like, something tied to his family. And they brought up the Mikasa family and the Ackerman and the Oriental clan, they said. And those are basically people that
weren't able to have their memories controlled.
Right. And then they were persecuted, hunted down, and killed.
Yep.
And I think we're going to get into a whole side of things that involves basically the ethnic cleansing of the city that was necessary in order to control the populace properly. And that's the kind of thing where things can get really dark. That's the kind of things where things can get really on the nose. Like, really on the nose. Then also, if they move things in that direction even more, that begs the question of, why is this whole thing tied to bloodlines? Why is this whole thing tied to people of specific races or like specific like family ancestry? Like that kind of brings up the point that the origins of humanity are going to even get brought up, and that's where things can go even fuller Evangelion. And that's why my theory about Titans being the originators and not humans is kind of a thing, because I think that Attack on Titan tricked us in the earlier bits of wanting us to think that this is a world where humans are, and this is basically the real world, and Titans were a thing that just went amok and went wrong, and now we're having to deal with our own consequences. And now they're basically like, nope, this is I hate to say it, this is a fantasy world. There's nothing about this world that correlates to the real world at all. We have fantasy bloodline superpowers.
Although one thing to remember, and this is one of the things that always boggles my mind, is that the first episode of Attack on Titan is called, Fall of Shiganshina or whatever, to you 1,000 years in the future.
Yeah, or like 2,000
years in the future.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a list of things that I kind of keep in the back of my mind until some proper context is given. I do remember, though, that someone told me that the mangaka originally designed the anime a different way to end.
Yes, originally it was going to be much shorter and everyone was just going to die pretty much.
So I don't put a lot of stock, really,
in that first bit?
In that, that flash of weird images and stuff.
Oh, where Eren saw like a bunch of dead bodies and everything. Yeah, that was for the original ending.
But if he wants to, the mangaka, he could totally retcon that into something along this line with the whole memory things.
Sure.
Yeah. So guys, crazy stuff.
Indeed.
Attack on Titan is like starting to go a bit Ava. We kind of saw this coming.
I mean, it is a flesh mecha, so...
Yep, there's that. So,
I mean...
Crazy stuff, guys. Can't really, like explain enough how, like, antsy and, like, nervous and excited and just freaking out I am about the state of Attack on Titan right now. So, looking forward to more of it. And, guys... If you want to get into the discussion of the whole things, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon.
Yep.
You can talk with us there about Attack on Titan related stuff, non-spoiler of course, but he is in the manga spoilers there because you're all caught up with manga related stuff.
I might be a few chapters behind, I think, but
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then you can chat with me, of course, about spoilery stuff. You can also watch full-length reactions there. And yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.